بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. أهلا وسهلا بحضراتكم, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Quarantine ISB talk show. So I hope that you're enjoying the time, the quality time at home. I know that it's a very stressful time. However, each of those blessed moments are, I would say, time to prepare and to revisit our, I would say, like what you used to believe as facts and what you used to believe as priorities in life. Right now, this is the time to revisit them, and this is the time to connect more with our beloved ones. This is the time to connect more spiritually with Allah and to know that everything happens in this universe. It's just a blink of an eye, and everything can be refixed. Everything, inshallah, will be refixed even for a better tomorrow, better norm. And as you know, that this is a Q&A session whereby we like interview one of our guest speakers, a community pillar, or someone like with knowledge that we need to know and hear it at those moments. And nothing is better than talk about the relief and what can we do to support each other as a community. And let me introduce first my guest speaker today. My guest speaker is Dr. Ikram Farooqi, being on the screen right now. Dr. Ikram is an MD in geriatric medicine, specialist in Wellesley, MA, and has been practicing for more than 30 years. He graduated from the Royal Medical College of Health Sciences in 1990, specialized in geriatric medicine. And this is something that we need to touch base. How's our elderly right now doing in our community? And wound and burn care. Dr. Ikram is the president, and that's why we're interviewing him today, is the president of Muslim Community Support Services, namely MCSS. MashaAllah, is like, it was a vast experience in relief and engaged with the community, trying to help them and relieve their pains. And without further ado, Dr. Ikram, Assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh. Thank you very much for being with us. I really know that we have been trying hard to get you, and you have been very busy. May Allah bless you with your patience and what you are doing. Dr. Ikram, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to our Q&A session.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you very much. So let's start by jumping into our first question. What is MCSS for people who don't know? What's MCSS and what are you guys doing?
So MCSS stands for Muslim Community Support Services. It's an organization that was started in 1999 by a group of people when they realized there was no Muslim organization in this area to help the people if they need some help. So MCSS has been in existence for about 21 years. It's all volunteer organization. So one of the important things is MCSS only collects money locally and it helps people locally. So this goes with the principle of, charity begins at home, both figuratively and religiously. So we only help the local people in the in New England area. One of the signature activities is the monthly food drive that actually operates out of the basement at ISBCC, and we help about 130 people every month with the food drive. Other than that, one of the major area where we help people is a lot of time people when they are having difficult time, they are falling behind in their rent or their utilities. There are so many times when the people with kids have eviction notices, so we help them with the rent so they can stay in the place. We help people sometimes, they have a car that breaks down and that's the only way they can get to work. So we help them to fix the car, pay the repair bills. We also have a funeral program where we actually work with ISBC a lot to help with the costs of funeral services. And sometimes there are people who pass away and they have no family and they need to be buried. So we actually hold some cemetery lots that, on as needed basis, we can provide for those people who have nobody. And then we also help some people with tuition basis, like for example, somebody did a training and wants to get a certification for a medical assistant. He or she can have a better job and better income. But sometimes the certification fee or getting the license is $600, $700, which they don't have. So we'll help them with that so they can get on to a better life. So this is in a nutshell what MCSS does, and like I said, has been doing for 21 years.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. This is amazing. Let me try to recap what you said. You said that you helped in the rent, you had in paying bills, in some of the eviction cases, food drives,
Yes.
funeral programs, post burial, and sometimes the tuition as well.
Yes.
That's awesome. I feel that you know about the Mahama work and how our community, the one responsible for burying people and stuff like that. So if there is any protocol of partnership between you guys and the Mahama? Runs from the ISBCC as well, whereby they clean the body and we own a cemetery so that we can take care of our deceased.
Yes, yes. So again, ISBCC being in Boston, a lot of times, they get the calls for people who have passed away, the family. Sometimes their family who can pay some of the cost, and then we'll help them with the rest of the cost. We do have, because it's a limited organization, so we do have a limit of how much we can do. But like I said, if somebody, it does happen every now and then, that somebody was a refugee or somebody was visiting and had no family and ended up in the hospital and passed away. So the Muslim chaplain gets the call. Body sometimes ends up with the ISBC funeral services, so we help out, and not only with the cost, but also with the providing a lot for people who have nobody.
So my question to you, how can we access those programs? So
yes,
issue builds, how can we access?
Yes, so we are actually in the process of revamping our website. Hopefully it will go live soon. We do have a website. It's mcssnewengland.org. So people can go there, they can download the form, they can fill up the form. There is an 800 number, they can fax it. We do realize that some people do not have access to fax machines, so we're actually trying to, in the next version of the website, there is actually an online form that I especially asked the person who's making our website to have an online version. And otherwise, they can actually call and set up an appointment with our coordinator, and she will take the information and write it down, and she will fill up the form. So there is an 800 number they can call. There is an email there. So if they all have to do is to go to website. We also leave some of our forms or brochures at all the Islamic centers, especially ISBCC. There is we leave it out there so people can ask somebody about the forms and fill it out and then send it to us. Once we get the form, obviously we have to verify the need, and it's spelled out on the form. There's not a whole lot. There's only 2 or 3 things we need, and as soon as we have it, then we can help them out. So we do not give money directly for rent to anyone. This is again because of all the regulations and all that. But if we have so what we ask for is the name of the landlord. If there are eviction notice, a copy of the eviction letter or some letter, documentation from the landlord that they are behind the rent, and then the check is written out, and we can either send it directly to the landlord or to the person who can take it to the landlord.
Thank you, Dr. Ikram. So, Dr. Ikram, that's right now, you know that people will not go to the Islamic centers. So to get the brochures, most likely they will either call you guys, or if they are like can fill forms over the internet, they can do that. If not, someone need to help them. So the way we used to do like relief in the past and during this phase, definitely looks different. So my question to you, how is your working setup, MCSS working setup right now during the pandemic is different was the how you used to do relief work before this era.
Yes. So what we did was we do realize it as soon as the pandemic started. Well, after as soon as the lockdown started, that people will not be able to go in, access the masjid or access the usual ways of applying and verification. So again, there is a phone number, there is a website. They can, if they can download the form and make make a picture of it. They fill out the form, take a picture of it, and they can email us the form, or they can call. And we have had a number of people who have just called. So that's one thing. Second thing, we also realize that getting the verification, all the information is difficult for people during this lockdown time, during this pandemic. So we have actually simplified that process too. So most of the application we are getting right now is for food, financial assistance. Again, there is a moratorium on people who cannot be, if they are behind the rent, they cannot be evicted. So at least for the next 45 days, people are safe. So by and large, we are getting applications for people are out of job, they have kids, they cannot buy the food. So what we need, basically all we need is somebody can call the 800 number, give their name, their address, their phone number. We do need the information. And based on how many kids, how many adults are in the house, we will send them a card out. We can send them a grocery store card, like a Shaw's or a Stop and Shop card. Or we have just obtained some debit cards, cash cards that we can send to the person, and they can go to the nearest grocery store and they can buy the groceries. So we have, that way we have simplified the process. And these cards literally go out every day, literally every day. If we get the information, say today, almost daily basis. So Brother Ali, who's the person who's managing it, and he literally sends out the cards every day. So if we get information today or application today, next day the card goes out.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ikram. This was like definitely helpful, and this was like a question that I have in mind from the date of you guys receive the requests for someone in our community who needs help to the date that we get access to this help. Looks like you mastered of this phase into like a day or two, which is awesome. Thank you very much.
Well, right now, because so many people are out of job, and the like I said, biggest issue is financial to buy the groceries. So we cannot make them wait for 3 days, 4 days. So we said, okay, we need to, whatever we, it's $50, $100 card is not a big deal. At least even if it's lost or I mean, if it's somebody is asking for nothing. But by and large, most of the people who need it they needed help. So we need to get it out as quickly as possible.
Awesome, thank you. So I'm asking Brother Kareem, Brother Ibrahim from the ISBC, please get all those informations and put them in the links of below, not in a separate post, please, the links, so that people can know how can they access MCSS and the relief efforts in those categories they are helping. So, and even the phone numbers for Brother Ali from the MCSS. Dr. Khan, my question to you is, are those relief issues mainly directed to our community as Muslims, or like, do you like see a request from other neighbors, ISBC neighbors, or other people from our community, I would say community at large, asking for those type of services, or you are directed for only Muslims?
So by and large, most of the applications we get are from the Muslims, but we have never restricted ourselves to Muslims. We have provided help in the past, or even now. If we get somebody who approaches us and they need help, then it doesn't matter whether they are Muslim or not. We will, if they deserve it, if they need it, we will send them out. Whatever, if they're looking for food card or if they need assistance with rent in usual previously, we help them out. So it's not restricted to the Muslims.
Awesome, thank you very much. Now, MCSS is an entity, and actually they are suffering like any other entities like suffering right now. How you guys manage it? Is it through donations? How you manage the survival of MCSS as an entity by itself?
So yes, that is a very good question, because there is has been definitely an uptick of a request for help. We almost on daily basis we get several requests for help. So so luckily, because we have been in existence for a long time, there are some people who have come to know us, both personally and as an organization, which helps the people in this area. So they routinely donate us. But again, one of our biggest fundraisers is usually first Saturday of Ramadan in Wayland, and then usually second or third week we go to Worcester Masjid, where we get also, that's the second, or usually they are equal. So that's, but this year it's going to be not possible. So we will be sending out emails and requests. Right now, we are using the money we had in our reserve. And then we hope, and then we request people who are watching it, or the masajid, if they get money for donation or sadaqah or zakat to help MCSS. So one of the things like ISBCC and Raylan and other masjid do is, when they get money for sadaqah or zakat, a portion of it they will give to MCSS, because they know that MCSS will help the people in the community or their communities. So again, yeah, whoever can the same website, there is a link, PayPal link, or they can write a check and mail it, because definitely the need has increased a lot.
Yeah, which is expected. And I think we at the ISBCC with other relief organizations, ICN Relief, and now we're asking the same thing. We can go into like a joint fundraising so that people will be donating for the impacted persons and in our community members, so that you guys can do all those experienced relief efforts in a much more speedy, professional manners, covering a wide range of others. And I think I'm calling on Brother Ihab to reach out to you so that we can do something together with MCSS, inshallah. So,
Sure.
first of all, does MCSS qualify to take some of those grants that's having in the city? Have you applied so that we can? Our interest is to let MCSS sustain so that they can serve. So, are you guys like eligible for funds from the state or even the federal funds?
Um, as far as I remember, we have looked into it in the past, and we tried to. I think the paperwork and the requirements and the legal requirements were so much that somehow it didn't go, because again, we've been doing it for a long time, and we always look for any source of money we can get to help the people in the community. So again, I don't know exactly right now, but I know from past that we have looked into it, and we have looked at the paperwork, and we have even tried to apply it. But it's so much complicated and so much paperwork and red tape that usually what happened, that after one or two tries we didn't get anywhere, so we kind of just gave up, to be honest.
Yeah, it's worth like looking into it just in case if there is some grants or stuff like that, because I know that we opened some grants for 501c organizations that you might tap into it. So what is your ask from the community? What do you want from our community? Like,
So
how can we help?
Well, so number one is, of course, we whenever we talk to any masjid, any community, we tell them that if you know somebody, if somebody is watching, if you know somebody who needs help, reach out to us. That's the purpose of our existence. So number one, let us know, and we'll do whatever we can to help them. Number two, again, it's the same thing. It is, when somebody's looking for rent, when somebody's looking for food card or the car breakdown, it's money. Bottom line is money. So whoever can afford to donate, their zakat, their donations, their sadaqah, please be as generous as possible. And again, going back to just, as soon as you find out somebody needs help, just let us know.
Perfect. So two things, like number one, if you know someone who needs help, please reach out to MCSS. This number one. Number two, there is an uptick on the demand right now. Most of our community members, I would say some of them like who've never asked for a relief or an sadaqat before, or like support and rent, stuff like that. But right now we have seen another segment jumping into the relief, and this will put, I would say, a responsibility in each one of us to start thinking not to shrink the sadaqat or the zakat. This is the time that you try to go into الذين ينفقون بالسراء والضراء. So even if this is a darar, this is the time that you try to get into like the spending and those tough and turbulent times. And where this money should go, MCSS will be giving us the websites and the phone numbers. We'll be putting them in the comments below so that you can access, someone, you can help them, or you would like to donate directly, or there will be a campaign between ISB and MCSS so that we can help people
Sure.
come in those blessed times. Dr. Ikram, Ramadan is around the corner, actually on Thursday and Friday. And I know that you mentioned that Ramadan is one of your biggest rounds of fundraising. However, on the other side, community are expecting a lot from those, I would say, very tiny relief organizations. So what's your Ramadan prep for our community members who suffered from this pandemic?
So, again, for people who are suffering from the pandemic, again, I just want to let them know we are there. We luckily we still have some reserves that we are using right now, and then it's for the purpose of helping the people. So we'll help them and use the money. That's what it came from for. But again, Ramadan is the time when we collect most of the money to spend all year round. So it's the same thing. Whoever can donate as much as they can donate with their zakat and sadaqah, uh, uh, do it generously. And as I said, MCSS is an organization. That's why I said up front in the beginning, charity begins at home. At home, this is not just figure of speech. This is the principle of zakat too, that we have to help people who are nearest to us, and then you go out instead of going all the way to some other country 3,000 5,000 miles away and then start coming back to here. We have to start here. So, and that's the principle I follow myself too. So again, the biggest need is right now to have enough money to we can get it out to people. Again, as Ramadan is coming, we have seen, as you said yourself, there are people who usually will not ask for help and will not need for help. That includes people who are, the gig economy, people who drive like Uber or taxis, or they have daily type work, and all those people are the ones who are affected the most. And usually they can survive, but right now the daily workers or people who have sort of stable work are out of job. So they all need our help. So we are basically helping our own community. So just keep that in mind.
Awesome. One final question before ending our session today, and it's a very personal thing. I know that you've been here for a long time, and this is like the first Ramadan to spend it not inside our beloved masajid. Is it like
Yes.
and
Yeah.
VCC, and we miss that. How you personally prepare for Ramadan this year?
It's to be honest, yes, it's on all of us. It's on our minds and our hearts. Ramadan is very difficult because without going for Taraweeh or Isha to the masjid, it's gonna be very kind of empty feeling. So I personally, my problem is caffeine. So I have to have tea in the morning and in Ramadan. So what I usually start to do is to wean myself off from caffeine. So I've already started it. So by Thursday, inshallah, I'll be ready to have no coffee or tea in the morning. So I don't have first day of Ramadan with the headache and everything, being miserable. So and then other than that, yeah, it feels very different. It feels kind of very empty, to be honest, going into Ramadan like this.
Yeah, I know that. I know how you're feeling. However, like I would say, there is a blessed in every test that comes from Allah. It might be this is the year that we need to think and reflect during spending those moments by ourselves, like praying
Yeah.
by ourselves. However, we need to connect with our shuyukh and Qari, inshallah. Gladly, alhamdulillah, I mean, we have the best of the Facebook, the YouTube, the Instagram, so that we have both our beloved scholars showing and trying to guide us during these moments
Inshallah.
or free time that we'll be having by ourselves, inshallah. Dr. Kram, Jazakallah khairan. Thank you very much for giving me the time. And thank you very much for all the good efforts that MCSS is doing. And we really would love to support. If there is anything, please reach out to the ISBC
Thank
and let's support each other so that we can pass this challenging times and moments. Jazakumullah khairan.
you very much. Thank you for the time, and thank you for having me to spread the word that we exist. A lot of time, we hear it. We didn't know. People say we didn't know MCSS exists. So this is such an opportunity to spread the word that we exist. Somebody needs help, reach out.
Thank you very much. Jazakallah khairan, Dr. Kram. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.